Hey guys, Swatch Up here with a video taking a look at the Quill Coat, which is the new Spirit Stone-esque jungle item that builds into the slightly reworked Spirit of the Ancient Golem. We're going to be taking a deeper look at Quill Cloak and talking about its characteristics, what champions it's good on, how it affects the game and stuff like that. And where appropriate, I'll also be comparing it to Spirit Stone. The reason for this is because Spirit Stone is a familiar item, which means that when I compare it to that, you guys should know what I'm talking about. And secondly, both those items are kind of similar, they fill similar needs, so it makes sense to draw parallels between the two. However, just because they are similar items does not mean that they are necessarily competitors. Which of the two you buy will always depend on which jungle item you want to go for. So if you want to get Ancient Golem, you should go at Quill Coat. If you want to get Elder Lizard or Spectral Wraith, you should go for Spirit Stone. So firstly, let's take a look at a rundown of the Quill Coat. What does it do? Well, it gives you a free ward, it gives you 20 armor, it gives you a huge regen bonus when you're in combat with jungle monsters, and a Thorns passive that deals damage to monsters based off of their maximum health. It's 5% of their max health over 3 seconds. The biggest difference to note between Quill Coat and Spirit Stone is that Spirit Stone gives you benefits based off how much damage you are dealing to the monsters. It increases your damage by a percentage and also gives you regen based off a percentage of the damage you're dealing to. This means that ultimately the more damage you have, the more Spirit Stone benefits you. On the other hand, Quill Coat's benefits are all unconditional. Both the Thorns and the in-combat regen don't scale with how much damage you're dealing. This means that it's ideal for those champions that don't deal a lot of damage. And of course, those junglers that don't deal a lot of damage are those tank junglers like Maokai and Nautilus. Think of it like you can have something which gives you an extra arm, or you can have something that gives your existing arms more bulk, like some steroids. Now, if you're Goro or you're Vishnu, you probably don't care that much about having an extra arm. I mean, you already have loads of them, so you're probably more likely to take the thing that makes your existing arms even stronger. But if you're just a lowly human like I am, then having 3 arms is kind of cool. I mean, I already have 3 legs, so I may as well have something to match. But it's not just in the jungle regen where this Quill Coat suits those tanky junglers quite nicely. There are other areas too. One of, if not the biggest problem for these tank junglers is their vulnerability to being bullied and invaded by the other strong junglers, people like Lee Sin and Vi, or in other words, a lot of the popular junglers nowadays. In addition to that, they also tend to clear quite slowly because they have an over-reliance on AoE abilities and not enough focus on single target, and nowadays the jungle focuses more on that single target damage clearing. What Quill Coat does is it provides you with a free ward, which is great for defending against potential invades. As any good hockey goalie will tell you, if you can see it, then you are much better equipped to stop it. In addition to this, Quill Coat actually provides you with a combat stat. It gives you armor. Spirit Stone gives you 0 combat stats, which means that once you venture outside of that jungle, you're basically naked. This extra armor makes you harder to prey upon by those aggressive physical damage junglers, which are quite common. Now, I've already touched upon the theory of the jungle benefits that Quill Coat gives you, especially in comparison to Spirit Stone, but what I've done here is a demonstration of 2 clears, one with Quill Coat and one with Spirit Stone. Both these clears are very identical, and I've tried to replicate what they would most likely be like in a real game, i.e. you're at level 4, which is around the time you would be picking up those items. Using Maokai as an example, from these runs we can see that the jungle difference between these 2 items is very minor. The regen bonus from Quill Coat is comparable to Spirit Stone's damage based regen, and the Thorns passive is decent too. However, because champions like Maokai would usually struggle with single target clearing, Quill Coat actually compensates very nicely for this. The percentage health damage is quite powerful against monsters with a lot of health, i.e. those big monsters in the camp and the buffs, so it really helps to take them down. Spirit Stone would increase your damage by a percentage, which, like I say, isn't that useful when you don't deal a lot of damage to an individual target. Now, with the fact that these 2 clears are comparable and the fact that Quill Coat also gives you combat stats as well, surely this means that Quill Coat is so much better than Spirit Stone. Well, for Maokai, the answer is yeah, that's true, but for other champions, it's not quite the case. For those champions who have more damage in their arsenal, they will be getting more benefit from Spirit Stone, so their clears would look slightly different from the one that you're seeing now with Maokai. Plus, it's not really worth getting too hung up on this Spirit Stone versus Quill Coat argument, because at the end of the day, they are both bridge items. They build from machete into your final jungle item. You probably won't be spending a lot of time with either Spirit Stone or Quill Coat. As far as the Quill Coat and the new Spirit of the Ancient Golem's impact on the overall game and the meta, I don't really think that it's done that much. I still think these tank junglers will struggle ever so slightly just because they still fall prey to these other more aggressive junglers that don't quite match up just yet. However, it's definitely a step in the right direction, and if these individual champions can receive buffs themselves, then maybe they'll be more competitive. A good example is Maokai, who I think is actually a pretty strong jungler right now, despite the fact that he is one of these tank junglers. This Quill Coat has answered a few questions, but definitely not all of them, though like I say, it is a step in the right direction. That's all I really want to say on this topic, guys. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to me for more educational League content with a bit of entertaining stuff on the side as well. You can follow me on my social media, my Facebook, my Twitter, where you can stay up to date with me. And also you can catch me streaming on Twitch as well. You never know, I might be streaming right now. But I hope you have a good day, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.